I spent many years working in garden centres, and the single most common tool and hardware type problems that I had to solve for my customers all had to do with their hoses and fittings.
Leaking fittings, fittings that won't stay on the hose twists, tangles, kinks, the whole catastrophe. I mean, really, does anything else in the garden have the capacity to be quite as frustrating as a hose?
Well, I've got a few tips that can help you avoid some of these frustrations, and most of them are just as useful with an old hose as they are with a brand newie.
When you're buying a new hose, you'll find there's a huge range available, and it's really worth spending as much as you can afford to on a quality hose.
Most new hoses are going to come with the fittings either packed with them or already attached to the hose. Now here are the first few things you need to do with a new hose, and you can apply them to an old hose as well.
If your hose, new or old, has fittings attached, take them off so you can look at the cut end. Is it a nice clean and square cut, or is it at an angle? If it's not square, it will not bed properly into the fitting and can cause leaks, so trim it to square. Put your fittings back on and make sure that you don't bend any of the little lugs so they get caught in the fitting. I find it best to just flare them out a little first. Now push! Twist your hose or fitting as you do so, and then screw the collar onto the fitting, making sure none of those little lugs are bent over. It's important that the collar is screwed on straight and is as tight as possible.
Once your fittings are on properly, it's time to straighten things out, and this is worth doing every now and then, even with an old hose, just as a maintenance thing.
Gently put a brick or something heavy on one end and lay your hose out in a straight run, preferably in the sun, as this will make it more malleable. Then give it the flick and twist treatment to get the curls out of it. In the long run, this all helps to keep your hose from kinking.
Your hose is now good to go. Assuming you're not going to be winding it onto a hose reel, you do need to coil it correctly for storage so that the next time you go to use it, it's not going to be full of kinks and tangles.
Take arm's length sections as you coil it either into your other hand or on the ground. You'll find you get in the habit of giving it a twist as you do so to get the curls out. How you store your hose is up to you. A neat coil beside the tap, on a proper hose hanger, or if you're limited for outdoor space, these little Velcro doodads are super handy. They let you hang your hose just about anywhere.
I love them. Keep my hose nice and neat on the ute.
And I've just one last little maintenance thing. With an older hose and fittings, the most common cause of leaking is the O-ring seals and washers failing. These tiny little black bits are the O-rings, and the washers are in here. Around every 12 months or so, carefully replace these. You'll find packs at your hardware store. Heaps cheaper than replacing whole fittings. And there you have it. Follow these pretty simple steps and you'll get years of trouble-free use from your hose. No axe required.